All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Unfortunately, it is that time. The offseason is here. We're going to start talking draft. We're going to talk about their selection today. Before we do that, hit that sub button. Let's get the 14,000 subs. It's the offseason. This is where the content's hot and heavy.
It is the off season. As exciting as it is, the sting of defeat still lingers in my belly and in my heart. But you know what? We'll work that through this week. We'll be feeling great by next week. But yeah, it's official. Vikings hold the 24th pick in the 2025 NFL draft. One of their few picks that they actually have. So 14-win team, get yourself the 24th pick.
Yeah, the 24th pick. And, we're going to be doing a lot of mock drafts throughout the year, throughout the draft season, I should say. But looking at pick 24, it seems like it's very obviously clear that it's going to be one of the big boys. It's got to be a defensive lineman or an interior offensive lineman.
Yeah, and especially after the way the last 2 weeks have gone, I would lean interior O-line at this point, but also you got free agency, and you think about that, I would rather have, free agent help on the interior than a rookie starting. But also, and you look at the D-line, I'm obviously a big monster, a guy who can take over up front, make some plays, and you're not calling specific pressures. We need that guy who can take over, just nothing happening, from a game-changing perspective up front for the Vikings this year. Very rarely. Harrison Phillips had a few plays early. I think Tillery made a couple, Bullard here and there, but just someone who can be what's the name from Casey Jones there, who can just take over games. We need that kind of a player.
We do. They can't get fancy. They can't just, a lot of people like that running back. Come on, we don't.
Genty?
He'd be wonderful. It'd be fun. We're not taking no damn running back. Go for the biggest weaknesses this team has had in the last couple of years, and that's in the trenches. And when you look at teams that are players that are often mocked to the Vikings, Kenneth Grant is becoming a very hot name from Michigan. Yep. Walker from Kentucky. Nolan from Ole Miss, another big defensive lineman. But there's also some offensive linemen. Donovan Jackson from Ohio State, one of the best guards in the draft, and Armand Membo, another guy who can play right tackle and play guard. So there's definitely some players that should be taken right in that area where it's not like this huge reach. And they get me excited. They get my blood pumping.
Yeah, and there's also the chance, let's not forget this, Vikings could look to move down a few picks, recoup some of the draft capital they lost last year, trading up for Dallas Turner, making all those moves they made. So we got the 24th pick now. I wouldn't be surprised if Kwesi slides down a little bit and maybe targets some of those guys you mentioned.
I would love it. It's so early in the draft season, especially defensive linemen. You see these guys fluctuate all over the place. We always see these guards in round one that end up going in round two. So we'll keep our eyes or peepers on all of that. But yeah, trade back, get some more picks, get a ton of picks. We need a round 2 pick. We need a round 3 pick. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Donovan Jackson, I will say, Ohio State guard. He gets a lot of love. Man, we've been burned by Ohio State guards.
I know.
White Davis, Pat Elflein scares me.
Thought we had some Hall of Famers there. We got
well, you know what? There's still time. But like we said, it's official. The Vikings have pick 24. I believe the Packers are
right ahead of us.
And one other sneaky position is we got to keep our eyes on his cornerback.
Yep, 100%.
We got like one cornerback on the roster.
Yeah, and even safety. We'll see what happens there. So, I'd hate to go secondary again. I think the trenches need to be beefed up one way or the other, but it's official. Vikings hold 24th pick. Drop in the comments who you want the Vikings to take it with that selection. Maybe some guys you're looking at, positions if you don't want to name a player. And also remember this, despite it being called a bean, coffee is actually a fruit.